G'day guys, it's been a little while since we've done a diary entry, but we thought it'd be a perfect opportunity with the footy season well underway to touch base, let you guys know what is happening with ball magnets, what's happening with the merch. There's obviously been a lot of demand. It's sold out within the first 10 minutes, which was great to see. Clearly, you guys loved what we did. I can tell you that there is more merch coming very soon. There will be some Carlton themed things for all the Blues fans out there. We'll have some navy blue apparel items with a ball magnets theme, which I think you guys are going to really enjoy. And yeah, we want to see more ball magnets merch out there in the community. So there'll be more updates on that to come soon. We've just done a podcast with Pendles, which was absolutely unbelievable. He's just he's already broken the disposal record, but he's the first player to hit 10,000 disposals. So we touch on that. We touch on him approaching his 400th game. What an outstanding achievement that will be. I think he's going to break the record in my personal view. I think he's so diligent, and he touches on it in the podcast. He's so diligent in the way he approaches the game, but he's also found an element of enjoyment and fun and humour in what he believes is his way of being able to extend his career. So many insightful things. Even rubbing shoulders with Pendles on a daily basis. There's still so many things I learned from just being around him and being a teammate of his. So I'm very grateful for that. In regards to the Ball Magnets in-season programs, they're very close as well. That's a very exciting thing, which myself, Cripper, and Lockie Neal have been working on. These will be available in the next couple of weeks. We'll keep you updated on Ball Magnets socials for how you guys can, be a part of that, because in-season training is so important. Clearly, we touch on a lot of the time pre-season training and setting yourself up for the year, and your training loads tend to come down during the season, but there's still so many things you can do to ensure that you're at the peak of your game as the season progresses, and how you can stay on top of your body from a recovery point of view. But I think staying fit during the footy season is equally as important. So being able to find that balance between how much is too much training, what's the right amount, what you should be training in terms of your running and your skills and your weights and your movement and your stretching. And there's so much that goes into it. But myself, Cripper and Lockie have worked on this really hard for you guys, having an in-season program in which you can follow and use the insights from Cripper and Lockie, who are arguably two of the best players in the game still, but even I was so interested to see how they prepare in season and what training they do to stay at their peak. So super excited to show you guys that. We've had a number of questions come in, which I'll read a couple out. We love when you guys send questions in, whether it be to the Ball Magnets email account or on Ball Magnets socials. So please keep doing that. We do read all your messages, and we want to keep creating an environment and community in which it's very communicative, and it's a two-way thing. We love listening to you guys and your feedback, and we hope that you guys love what we can provide as current footballers as well, who are living and breathing the football environment on a daily basis. So one of the questions that we've had come through, and this has popped up a few times, but where do I see Collingwood at the moment? And obviously we're 3-3 with a draw from when this podcast is being recorded. This is just after Anzac Day, and it's a tough caper, isn't it? I think after winning the premiership last year, everyone just assumes that we're going to be right at the top all year and everything's going to be smooth sailing. And unfortunately, it's not that easy. It's such a tough competition, and you'll hear a lot of players say that there's no easy games, and that's so true. Every game is tough. We obviously played Carlton this week, which is a huge game, but every game is a huge game. And I think from our team point of view, we've managed to find and identify some things in our game that we know work for us. And when we bring our best pressure, in simple terms, that's when we play our best footy. So the game against Hawthorn was actually the highest pressure game of any game this season. So that was a really pleasing thing for us to be a part of. They're the games that we enjoy, and that's what brings the best out of our team. The Brisbane game prior to that was one of our best pressure games as well. So we've identified that pressure is such an important part of our game. I think we went a little bit down a path of looking at intricate detail of game style, and those things are really important, but we probably went away a little bit from the foundation of our game. So I think if you watch Collingwood, you'll see a lot of high pressure, which is a word that's thrown around a lot in football. But when we really bring that, it's something that's it's something that we love to do, and it's how we love to play as well. We did touch on, so we did have a request for when we'll be getting Pendles on the pod, and yeah, happy to say that we had him on today. There was an episode last year in which we had Josh Giddey and Pendles on the same episode. That was really special. Clearly, Pendles with his basketball background, which is quite well documented. He loves his basketball and was more than happy to jump on that pod with Giddey, but to get Pendles prior to his 400th game and just hitting 10,000 disposals on the pod was absolutely unbelievable. He's actually not going to do a ton of media, I don't think, before his 400th game. So the fact that we've been able to get access to one of the game's greats was unbelievable, and hopefully there's some really good insight there. So we've got some requests for some other guests. If you have any guests you'd like to hear from on the Ball Magnets podcast, please send them through. I can tell you that we do have some really big names coming out to Australia soon in global sport, and some big names within Australia as well. Another question for the Ball Magnets, and speaking to Cripper and Lockie in regards to their opinions as well, that who are the players that we're really enjoying watching this year, and who are the players taking the competition by storm? We came up with a handful. Isaac Heaney at the Swans clearly has taken his game to another level. He's pretty much every statistical category he's up there, whether it be contested possession, clearance, score involvements. I know Hean's quite well, and he's a player that can go forward and take a big mark and kick goals. He's kicked a goal and had, I think, over 26 disposals in every single game this year. So he could be an early Brownlow roughie. I know he's in contention. And another player was Matt Rowell, and Rowley's obviously a good friend of Ball Magnets, and it's so good to see him after the way he started his career get back to that form. He's an absolute animal around the contest. He's a player that, even though he's so much younger than me, I admire the way he goes about it. I think he came out during the week and mentioned that he just has such a hunger for the contest. And if you watch the way he goes about it, the way he tackles and attacks the ball for any inside mid, he'd be the player that I'd be watching for the next 10 years, foreseeable future. He's an absolute star and going to take the Gold Coast a long way, just through the way he attacks the footy and the way he approaches his game. Another player that's come up regularly with the Ball Magnets crew is Tom Liberatore. Clearly, we're all inside midfielders, but we admire certain players around the league and the way they go about it. Tom Liberatore is so underrated. It's surprising to know he's never been an All-Australian, and not sure how he hasn't, because his hands in close, his clearance work, his pressure, his tackling. He's such a skilled player for someone of his size as well with his hands. Someone that I really admire. Another player who I came up against on Anzac Day was Sam Durham from Essendon, and I think he complements their team so well. You've got guys like Merritt and Parrish who are real classy type players. Merritt had a great game, deserved the Anzac Day medal. Congratulations to him. But having a real bull on the inside and a player like Durham, who I think was recruited from Richmond VFL, which goes to show for a lot of listeners and players out there, if you've missed out and opportunities have seemed to have passed, he's another prime example. Another one like Jai Newcomb, who was plucked from the VFL as well, that just to never give up, because he's having a great season and someone that really helps that Essendon midfield, and it looks like he could help take that team a long way this year as well. Who are some teams to beat this year? Clearly, you can look at the top of the ladder, and you don't have to look too far then at the top to see the teams right out there are probably the easy answers, but Geelong haven't lost yet. And I was actually at the game on the weekend, Carlton v Geelong, and did my first game in the commentary box on 3AW. I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of stats that come through which make you sound a little smarter and do help you, but to see the game from a different angle and to spectate was really cool and something I really enjoyed. So really keen to do a little bit more of that later this year, but I think those two teams are two teams that will really go a long way this year. It was really noticeable to see that Geelong were getting a lot of numbers back on Curnow. He's just such a great player, and if you leave him one-on-one, he's really hard to beat. So it was really noticeable to see a lot of the Geelong players rolling back on Curnow to try and stop his influence. But yeah, with Geelong as well, they've got a lot of smaller types who aren't, I would say, massive household names like your Hawkins and Dangerfields, but guys like Myers and Holmes and these guys are just really, really good players. And I think the next generation of Geelong players, with Selwood leaving, that will probably help that team to more success in the near future. I think the Giants and the Swans are the other two teams. It's going to be the Battle of the Bridge this week, which is going to be a huge game. I think the Giants are still finding a way to get it done without Sam Taylor. Cornelio's been out. They've had a few, Toby Green missed a game as well. And they're still able to get wins without some of their best players. So that's always a great sign. Melbourne are another team as well. I think with their star power, Oliver, Petracca, Gawn, Viney, these guys, May and Lever down back, I think, that core 6 players for them could take them a long way as well. So they're some teams to look out for. Again, we want to thank some sponsors of the show, because without them, all of this wouldn't be possible. To the East Brunswick Hotel, we thank them for all their support, and for Davos and Miles Wealth Partners, thanks to them as well. Plenty more good guests to come, guys, so stay tuned. Any requests you have, please hit us up on our socials. We're putting a lot more stuff on our YouTube channel as well, so we hope you guys are enjoying the longer format things that we have. We have the off-season documentary where we tracked a trip to the USA with myself and Tom Phillips, a former Pie. We went and met with Dyson Daniels, Josh Giddey, Josh Green, Dante Exum, who are all a part of the NBA playoffs at the moment. So if you want a behind-the-scenes access look at what life is like in American sport, head to our YouTube channel and look at the USA documentary. It was something that really enjoyed being a part of, having a crew follow us around the States, and it's something that we're going to continue to do. It looks like this year we may have a fair bit to do with the Tottenham Hotspurs, so for those soccer fans out there, we haven't done a lot in the soccer space, but again, all of this is about learning and how you can take little things from athletes and teams around the world and, implement that into your game or your team's game, or if you're just interested in sport, how you can learn about what the top teams and top players are doing, both in the AFL, AFLW, but also sports around the world. I have a huge love for the NBA, so I'll hopefully try and get over there as well. But as mentioned, the YouTube channel is firing at the moment, so that's where you can find a lot of our content, whether it be things that you find entertaining, but also from an educational and skills point of view. We're going to be putting a lot more things on YouTube. We know that you guys love YouTube, and so the Ball Magnets YouTube channel is going to be where you can find all of that.